It was just past lunchtime, on a quiet Monday, in a small beach town north of Monterey Bay. Shoppers were moving between stores. A woman was walking near the food court exit of her local mall, a place she'd probably walked past hundreds of times before. Within seconds, that ordinary afternoon turned into a crime scene, a mall-wide evacuation, and a manhunt that ended less than half a mile away. By nightfall, investigators would call it something that unsettled the entire community, even more than the violence itself. Completely random. This is the story of the Capitola Mall stabbing. What's confirmed, what's still unclear, and what it means for the town left trying to make sense of it. Before we go further, if you follow cases like this, ones built strictly on verified reporting rather than speculation, consider subscribing. We'll be tracking this case as it moves through the courts, and you won't want to miss the updates. Now, let's set the scene. Capitola Mall sits just off Highway 1, on 41st Avenue in Capitola, California, a small coastal city in Santa Cruz County, tucked along the northern edge of Monterey Bay. It's the only enclosed regional shopping center in the county, a fixture of daily life for locals doing errands, grabbing lunch, or killing an afternoon. It is not the kind of place associated with violent crime. On Monday, July 20th, 2026, the mall was operating like any other weekday. Shoppers moved between the food court and the Macy's wing. Employees were mid-shift, and at approximately 12:45 p.m., that normalcy ended. The victim was later identified by Capitola police as 73-year-old Rachell Summers, a longtime resident of Capitola. In the days after her death, friends and co-workers described her as a gentle, selfless presence in the community, reporting she was known locally as an artist. As of this recording, investigators have not released detailed information about what Summers was doing at the mall that day, or her movements in the moments before the attack. That detail matters. It's one of several things we simply don't know yet, and we won't pretend otherwise. Let's walk through what has actually been verified by police and multiple news outlets, in order. At approximately 12:45 to 12:47 p.m., Capitola police received reports of a stabbing near the food court exit of the mall. Responding officers arrived within minutes and found a woman, later identified as Summers, suffering from multiple stab wounds on Clare Street, across from the Macy's West exit. They were relieved by Central Fire personnel and American Medical Response paramedics, who continued treatment at the scene. Despite those efforts, Summers was pronounced dead there. As the medical response was underway, a much larger law enforcement operation was mobilizing. Capitola police evacuated the entire mall and shut down surrounding streets. They were joined by Watsonville Police, the California Highway Patrol, California State Parks, Santa Cruz Police, and the Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Office. A rapid, guns-drawn search of the mall and surrounding area, treating the situation as an active threat until the suspect was located. According to police radio traffic reported by local outlets, the suspect himself called 911 during this window and told dispatchers he was the person who had carried out the stabbing. We want to flag that detail clearly. It comes from radio traffic reporting, not a formal police statement, so treat it as reported, but not yet officially confirmed, in an on-record statement from the department. What is confirmed by police directly: officers located and arrested a suspect in the 1400 block of 41st Avenue, near a Best Western hotel, approximately 30 minutes after the attack. The rapid resolution, a search to arrest window of about half an hour, is one reason this case moved so quickly, from breaking news to a named suspect. On Tuesday, July 21, the day after the attack, Capitola police formally identified the suspect as 19-year-old Tyler Leibelt of Santa Cruz. Here is where we need to be precise about language, because this is the point in a lot of true crime coverage where accuracy tends to slip. Leibelt has been arrested and charged. He has not been convicted of anything. Everything that follows describing his alleged actions should be understood as accusation, not established fact, until a court says otherwise. Capitola Police Chief Sarah Ryan told reporters that, based on the investigation to that point, detectives believe this was a random act of violence. Police stated directly, there is no indication that the suspect and victim knew one another prior to the attack. That's about as far as official statements on motive have gone. No robbery, dispute, or personal connection has been reported by investigators. As of this recording, no formal motive has been publicly disclosed, and it's possible one may never fully surface or may only emerge through the court process. One additional detail has been reported by local outlets, though it's worth noting precisely how it's sourced. According to jail records and local reporting, Leibelt was reportedly out on bail at the time of this attack, in connection with a separate, prior felony case. Capitola's police chief has declined to comment further on his background. We're including this because multiple outlets have reported it, but we don't yet know the details of that earlier case, and it hasn't been the subject of an official department statement, so treat it as reported, not confirmed by police on the record. Police have repeatedly emphasized one point to the public. They consider this an isolated incident, not evidence of an ongoing threat to the community. According to Santa Cruz County Superior Court records, prosecutors have charged Leibelt with murder. The criminal complaint reportedly also includes special allegations that he committed the killing while lying in wait, that he used a deadly or dangerous weapon, and that the offense qualifies as a serious and violent felony under California law. For context, under California law, murder is generally divided into degrees. A lying-in-wait allegation is significant because, if proven, it can elevate a case toward first-degree murder and can serve as a special circumstance in certain cases, meaning prosecutors view the killing as calculated rather than a sudden, unplanned act. The deadly or dangerous weapon and serious and violent felony allegations affect sentencing exposure if there is ultimately a conviction. It's important to underline, these are allegations contained in a charging document. None of them have been proven in court, and Leibelt has not entered a plea as of this recording. Jail records show Leibelt has been held without bail since his arrest. According to local reporting, his arraignment in Santa Cruz County Superior Court was scheduled for Wednesday, July 22, 2026. We do not yet have confirmation of what happened at that hearing, whether a plea was entered, whether bail status changed, or whether charges were amended. Santa Cruz County District Attorney Jeff Rachell was reportedly present at the scene on the day of the attack, alongside Sheriff's Office investigators, though a detailed statement from the DA's office specifically has not been widely reported as of this recording. If you've been with us this far, you already know this channel doesn't deal in speculation dressed up as fact. Every timeline, every quote, every allegation in this video is sourced directly from law enforcement statements and verified reporting. If that approach matters to you, drop a comment letting us know what you'd like us to follow up on as this case develops. We read all of them. And if you haven't already, now's a good time to hit subscribe before we get into the human cost of this case. For the people who worked and shopped at Capitola Mall that day, the fear was immediate and disorienting. Mall employees described being told to evacuate without initially being given a reason. One described her adrenaline rushing as she and a co-worker were hustled out of the building, unsure whether the threat was still nearby. Employees said armed police response of that scale was not something they associated with the mall, where the most common law enforcement presence had historically been tied to minor theft calls. Capitola Police issued a public statement following the identification of the victim. Our hearts remain with Rachel's family, friends, and all those affected by this tragic and senseless act of violence. Friends and co-workers who spoke to reporters remembered Summers as a gentle, selfless presence in the Capitola community, a woman known locally through her work as an artist. As of this recording, no public memorial service details have been widely reported, and we won't speculate about arrangements the family has not made public. In terms of public safety response, Chief Ryan said the mall's management increased security following the attack, and that Capitola Police would maintain a heightened patrol presence in the area to reassure the community. Ryan acknowledged how frightening the incident was for residents and employees, while also stressing, consistently with the department's broader messaging, that this was an extremely uncommon event for the area, not a sign of an ongoing pattern of danger. The mall itself reopened once investigators finished processing the scene, according to police. Let's be direct about the open questions, because a responsible account of this case has to acknowledge them rather than fill the gaps with guesswork. We don't know the outcome of Wednesday's scheduled arraignment, or what plea, if any, has been entered. We don't know the details of the prior felony case Leibelt was reportedly out on bail for at the time of this attack. We don't know whether investigators have identified any warning signs, prior mental health history, or other background factors. None have been officially disclosed. And we don't know whether the random act of violence characterization will hold as the investigation continues, or whether prosecutors will eventually present a more specific motive in court filings. What we do know is that Capitola police have asked anyone who witnessed the attack or who has photos, video, or other relevant information to contact them directly, a sign that the investigation, while an arrest has been made, is still active. This case is still unfolding. Tyler Leibelt has been charged with murder, but under the law and under the basic standard this channel holds itself to, he is presumed innocent unless and until a court finds otherwise. We'll continue to follow the legal proceedings in Santa Cruz County as they develop, and we'll come back with an update once there's verified information to share, particularly from the arraignment and any subsequent hearings. If you want to be here when we do, subscribe and turn on notifications. And if there's a detail in this case, or another case, you think deserves closer coverage, tell us in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.